I remember once we went to the butcher's, you know, at Christmas to buy some meat, and I was really dressed up, and we went in, and my mother was saying, "Oh, stay in the car, stay in the car." I said, "No, I'm coming in," right? You know, and all these butchers were laughing at me, and they were really trying to take the, you know, taking the piss. And my dad's quite a big guy, and he kind of went bang on this kind of glass thing, and they all sort of went like that, and he said, "Who's laughing?" And they just all went quiet. It was so funny. My mother was going, "Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed, I'm so embarrassed." She's going, "I wish you hadn't done that," you know, like, and the guy came out and said he was really apologising to my father. And even when I wasn't famous, as much as they objected, they would never let anybody like walk over me or take liberties. They've always defended, which you do with your family. But my father would do it with anyone, you know, like I remember when we were a kid, there was a woman who, next door to us, who was a prostitute, a woman, and she was very sweet actually, but she was like a woman of ill repute. And her house caught on fire one day, and she got the children out, but she started to shed this negligee and nothing underneath. And she started running upstairs to try and get a checkbook, like in a bank, shed these travel checks. And my father kind of ran in the house and grabbed hold of this little naked woman and dragged her out. And like, you can imagine all the people that we used to live in this little square, you know, I wonder what the woman, you know, the wife will say. And it was like, he's always been like that, you know. Yeah. They've always kind of defended the minority anyway, because the minority is always weaker. But they've never really been that paranoid about the way I looked and what people said about me. And I mean, when I used to live at home, I used to go out with my hair sticking right up in the air, like huge kind of like tower block of hair.
Well, when you were, say, what, 12, 13, when did you start getting tall? I mean, were you small at one stage?
I've always been really tall, yeah. You know? And like, I remember, I just relate this other story when my mother used to work in like a local bankers trust, and she was at the bus stop one morning, and this woman said, "Oh, you should have seen this thing." Some punk rockers walked past, and this woman said, "Oh, you should have seen this thing that went into the station this morning." You know, like, I said, "Actually, that's my son." She goes, "Oh," she goes, "Well, his makeup was very good." You know, it kind of, people get really embarrassed, and they've had, I mean, they have a lot of arguments with people. Like my father, they do react. They're normal parents. Yeah. Like there's the this is so pathetic. There's this like place in Woolwich called the coffee shop, which is like they all go, you know, all the old grannies going there for coffee. And there was this woman, they have a picture of me on the wall, which I signed to the manageress, but there's some girl working there, and she was saying, really loudly, "Well, my husband thinks that boy George is a con." So, of course, my father went up and said, "Don't you ever say that about my son." It was like, she went, "Oh," and started apologising. And then the next time we went in, they'd taken the pictures down. So that's quite funny. But they do react, but they don't care what people say about me. They'd always defend me, whatever people said.
Are they critical on, you know, of your songs? I mean, do they ever say, "Oh, yeah, well, that song may not be a hit," or "We don't like"?
But they're always critical about Marilyn.
Yeah.
They always say, "Oh, he's the one, isn't he?" Because they always think he's too much. They always think, like, 'cause he came to our house, and my mother's met him, but she always gets really embarrassed when she meets him because I'm her son. It's like one day the Boomtown Rats are on TV and my mother says, "Oh, look at his socks, they're bright pink." Whereas I'm sitting there plastered in makeup. It's kind of an accepted thing.
Right.
It's like the Toby jug. She's never really thought about it, but other people are always kind of, "Oh, should see him." Marilyn came back from America. I was very successful. I've always been friendly with Marilyn for years and years and years. And he came back from America, and I think he came back with a kind of burning desire to be famous. Marilyn wouldn't care if he was a pop star or a film star or anything. He wouldn't care how he was famous. He just wanted to be famous. When we went to Egypt on holiday, he came with me on holiday, and I arranged for...
You didn't need a visa, did you?
No, I arranged for the press to take photographs of us, you know, as a kind of a way of getting him, you know, because it was mass publicity. He was in every paper in the world. And that was misinterpreted because everybody thought I was going out with him, which is obviously the biggest joke ever made. And that was okay. And then Marilyn kind of got taken in by all the Fleet Street people, and he went around doing interviews about me, and that was it. I was furious. I mean, I was just so annoyed. Not only, I just felt that he wasn't satisfied with the publicity I'd given him. There was like, my friend Boy George's bedroom secrets, you know. All right, maybe he didn't say all of that, but he instigated it, because if you talk to these people, whatever you say to them, they can twist, and it was just getting really aggravating me. So in the end, I just didn't want any more of it. I said, OK, you do your own thing and I do mine.
We've had arguments before and no one gave a shit, really. But now it's just a shame that... I must ask you about your Billy Idol thing as well. It's just a shame now that when we have an argument, and, you know, it gets written about in the papers and everyone sort of takes sides and, you know, the whole thing gets out of proportion. And while they're still fighting amongst themselves, we got back together and forgotten about the whole thing months ago.
Yeah, but however, I mean, there was a stage where you both, with the media, were sort of like...
We're both very, very bitchy.
You know, he's the sort of person who won't give up. You know, if he wants to be friendly with you, he'll just call you. You know, and he will just like bother you. And he used to come and sit on my doorstep, you know, bang the door down, you know. But I mean, it was nothing unusual about that. I mean, when we shared a squat together, he was living with his mother. He came to live with us. There's about 5 of us living in a squat. And one morning at 6 in the morning, the door comes flying in. Hi, it's Marilyn. Hi, everyone. It's like, ugh, everyone's like completely asleep. People had to get up for work. He's always been really insensitive to how other people felt, but maybe that's one of the qualities I liked in him. The only thing is, I've had hundreds of rows with Marilyn, but I'm a famous person now, and when you have rows with people, it becomes public. You know, I've had hundreds of rows with him in the past, and it's never been of any interest to the Fleet Street or anyone else. But I think he deserved everything I said about him, and he knows that, you know.